As you can see, this is new, but I love these things. This is a red dragon Venus flytrap. I love Venus flytraps because they always look like they're plotting something, don't you think? The Venus flytrap is often a plant with a bad reputation, and in this case, it's totally earned because these aren't just weird little fly munchers. They are a horticultural challenge that asks you to go full mad scientist if you want to keep them alive. But with a few key tips, you can go from accidental plant assassin to proud bug buffet manager. First, let's start a little background to give you some context. Native to a tiny 75-mile radius around Wilmington, North Carolina, the Venus flytrap, Dionaea muscipula, evolved in nutrient-poor acidic bogs. The soil was so barren that this plant had to get creative to survive. Its traps are actually leaf modifications designed to extract nitrogen from insects. That means if you treat it like a normal houseplant, it will absolutely wither in protest. But we're not going to do that. We're going to keep it alive, so let's talk about care. The number one way to kill a Venus flytrap is to pot it in the wrong soil. Regular potting mix equals slow motion murder. Is that kind of a lot? Maybe that's a lot to say. But this is a little murder plant, so let's stick with it. Instead, use a 1-to-1 mix of sphagnum, peat moss, and perlite or sand. Never use compost, fertilizer, or anything with added nutrients. You may think you're giving it a boost, but it's evolved to do its own thing. It doesn't need your help. Now, water is another frustration because no tap water allowed. Venus flytraps need distilled water, rainwater, or reverse osmosis water. The problem is tap water contains minerals that will build up and burn the roots over time. It's just not evolved to be able to handle that. Keep the soil damp but not soggy. A shallow tray of water works well. Just make sure to let it dry between refills to avoid root rot. In terms of light requirements, most carnivorous plants are full sun junkies, and the Venus flytrap is no exception. Aim for 4 to 6 hours of direct sunlight per day, or grow them under strong full spectrum LED grow lights if it's indoors. If it's not getting enough light, your plant will tell you. It'll have weak coloration, closed traps, and exfoliated growth. In terms of feeding, one reason I love these so much is because they are natural fungus gnat murder bots. If you have a problem with fungus gnats coming from soil of your other plants in your house, driving you crazy, learn how to take care of one of these inside. It'll be smooth sailing. But don't feed it hamburger, don't poke it for fun, and for the love of plants, do not trigger the traps unless you've got an actual bug handy. And the reason why is because each trap only has a limited number of closings before it dies off. If your fly trap is indoors and it's not catching prey, you can feed it live or rehydrated dead bugs every few weeks. I've never tried this, but from my research, how you do this is use tweezers to gently place the bug inside and brush the trigger hairs to activate the trap. It's kind of hard to see them on this red dragon since it is such a really cool goth red. So I'll put some stock footage here where you can see what the trigger hairs look like. Now, here's where most plant parents fail, myself included: winter dormancy. Flytraps are temperate plants that require a 3 to 4 month dormancy period in cold temperatures, which is typically around 35 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit or 1 to 10 degrees Celsius. Without this rest phase, this plant weakens and dies off over time. If you live somewhere cold, like I do in the Northeast US, an unheated windowsill or garage might work. If not, though, you'll need to simulate dormancy in a fridge. Just a fridge. Just wrap the plant, pot and all, in a plastic bag and place it in the crisper drawer. I know it's not glamorous, and you might have to give your family members a little preface on what's hanging out in the fridge, but cost-benefit analysis, you know what I mean? And like I said, I have found dormancy to be one of the hardest parts of keeping these plants because you want to leave it alone, but not completely. So it's a balancing act. So just so you know, I struggle with it too. In terms of semi-hydroponics, Venus flytraps are not compatible. They need pure water in a very specific acidic medium. Semi-hydro setups tend to be too nutrient-rich and too alkaline for them. Now let's talk about common problems and how to fix them. First, traps turning black, and I've actually been hiding one so you can see what it looks like. Black traps, totally normal as they age, but rapid blackening could mean you're overfeeding them or triggering them too often. Basically, they're just overwhelmed and they are clearing out stock. If you notice any mold or rot, this is usually caused by stale, soggy conditions or a lack of airflow. Let the medium dry out between waterings and increase ventilation. If you don't see any trap movement, that's often due to low light or weak health. Start by boosting the lighting and then reassess its soil and water conditions. But overall, that's it. As long as you give it the boggy conditions and full sun it likes, it'll take care of itself. And that's why I can't help getting these things. They're just so freaking cool. So, look, if you've ever dreamed of owning a tiny carnivorous alien that throws Victorian science into crisis, now you can. All it takes is a little patience and a lot of distilled water. Speaking of Victorian science crisis, if you want the full backstory on why this plant caused such an uproar, check out my History of Plants episode on the Venus flytrap. It's juicy. I'm Megan Brame, and this is Plantrums. Subscribe for more plant guides, and don't forget to flourish.